Last night we saw Central Michigan fall for the first time this season in a tough 3-1 loss to Florida Gulf Coast here at Martin Ice Arena. This afternoon is thus a test of this young team's resilience as they take on a team they downed on opening night. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome inside Martin Ice Arena in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Inside the broadcast booth, my name is Reagan Cleaves, and I will be with you the entire way this afternoon as the Central Michigan Chippewas finish out their regular season series with the Ferris State Bulldogs. Well, we mentioned right off the top that CMU struggled last night against Florida Gulf Coast, and it was really a 45-minute clinic put on by Florida Gulf Coast as they basically took control from the 10-minute mark of that opening frame, and it was all Eagles from there on out. They got things going at the 15:54 mark of that opening period when Robert Nussbaum in the right circle fed it over the near side, where Evan McNamara was there to one-time it in the left circle. He didn't get a ton on it, and he kind of shot it right back into Lauren Jones. However, Jones was only able to get a piece on it under the arm, and it snuck past him and into the back of the net for goal number 1 of the game. McNamara, his first of the night. It was 10 seconds later, though, that things really got out of control for Central Michigan when Matthew Briggs picked up the loose puck right off the draw at neutral ice and took it down the left side. He worked around the outside of the left wing circle down low, and from a tight angle, snuck the puck up onto the up top near corner on Lauren Jones. It's one he really can't do much about as he's trying to hug that post. He's a shorter netminder, so he really can't get to the top part of the net, especially if he's down on that knee hugging the near post. And it had to be a perfect shot from Matthew Briggs, and it was such a shot. And that is how, just 10 seconds apart, Florida Gulf Coast saw themselves up 2-0. CMU went 0 for 1 in the power play in the first period. Florida Gulf Coast went 0 for 2. Moving on into period number 2, CMU looked to have a little bit more control over things, though it was a lot of play in there, and things got a bit rough for them. However, when at 8:10, Bradley Gordon went off for a trip, and that put CMU on the power play. You'd think that'd be a good thing, but they got a little bit of they got some things going and got some zone time, established some pressure against the Eagles and their netminder Jared Wolfert. However, it was a turnover at the defensive blue line for Central Michigan that led to a breakaway for Wallace. He worked in on the right side after he got a pass from Langenreich, and he put it past Lauren Jones to make it a 3-0 game. A shorthanded goal coming at 9:46 put CMU down 3, their biggest deficit they had faced all year, and they would head into the final frame trailing for the first time this season. They had trailed after one before that came back on opening night against these same Ferris State Bulldogs, but it was really a test for CMU, and it was a disappointing third period. They got some pressure. They had a ton of power play opportunities. They ended up going 0 for 7 on the night, but it was Connor Morgan to get himself a goal with 41 seconds remaining in the contest. That puts him at goals in 3 straight. He scored on opening night, the game winner against these same Bulldogs. And then in the Cleary series a weekend ago, he got 2 goals, or he got a goal on in each of those games. And so the freshman for CMU has had a very good start to his campaign. His goal came at 19:19 of the third. CMU's effort was too little, too late for the Chippewas, and they fell for the first time here at Martin Ice Arena, a place where they have historically had success, especially in recent years. They only lost 3 times here at the friendly confines last season. 7 wins and a couple of ties, but let's hope that they can rebound here tonight against these same Bulldogs. Taking a look around the Michigan Collegiate Hockey Conference, the only other game in the conference this afternoon comes at 4 at Crystal Fieldhouse down in Flint. It's down in Burton, and Michigan Flint will take on Lake Superior State. Lake State still looking for their first win. Lake State takes on Adrian. I have that written down wrong. They take on Adrian at 4 down in Arrington Ice Arena, and they're still looking for their first win as a club here in the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Taking a look at the two teams down below us here on the ice. Central Michigan this year is 5-1, coming off a year where they were ranked 8th in the ACHA last season. They started 5-0 for the second time in their in franchise history. The only previous time came back in 2017-2018 when they made it all the way to the national semifinals before losing to the Hope Flying Dutchmen. And their first loss of the season came last night against Florida Gulf Coast in a tough 3-1 domination by the Eagles. And they look to turn that around here tonight. Ferris State, ever since opening weekend when they went 2-1, they lost to Central Michigan on opening night, but then came back the last two nights of that opening weekend against West Virginia, got 2 wins, and since then they have gone 0-5. This is their second game of the weekend against. They played on Friday against Florida Gulf Coast. They lost 5-2 at Aviglaven Ice Arena, and as we mentioned, their only wins came on opening weekend against West Virginia, so they're looking to turn things around here at Martin Ice Arena. Both teams looking to bounce back from losses to the same opponent earlier this weekend. As we mentioned, CMU and Ferris State are closing out their their season series here this afternoon as Central Michigan won 4-1 back on October 23rd, opening night at Aviglaven Ice Arena for both these two clubs. So this is the final game of the year between these two. CMU will have to wait 2 weeks before they take on Notre Dame. Ferris State travels down to Missouri next weekend to take part in a showcase down there. Taking a look now at our players to watch for Central Michigan, Connor Morgan, who through 6 games has who has 4 goals and 1 assist, giving him 5 points. He has goals in 3 straight, dating back to that first Cleary game here at Martin Ice Arena last Friday. So he has been all over the ice for CMU. Been getting a lot of opportunities out in front, creating chances with his line mates, and it'll be fun to see him and see if he can extend his goal streak to 4 here tonight. As for our second player to watch for CMU, Nathan Bottles, who has 7 points in 6 games, and against these Ferris State Bulldogs, he had a goal and an assist back on opening night. He didn't take long to notch his first Central Michigan points after transferring from Arcadia, and we're hoping that he can produce the same amount of magic he did back on opening night, if not exceed it. For Ferris State, we're looking for Jordan Schmidt, who is their leading scorer, and Isaac Newton, who is their leader in assists. Schmidt has 9 goals, 3 assists for 12 points in 8 games. Newton has played the same amount of games. He has 2 goals and 8 assists. He is their assist leader for Ferris State. Neither of them got on the score sheet in game 1. However, it was Ty Schiff who got the only goal for Ferris State back on opening night. We'll also keep an eye on him as proceedings go on in this one. Keys to the game presented by SeamishIceHockey.com. For Central Michigan, you got to put last night's game out of your head. It was a tough game against a very high-skilled, very physical opponent in Florida Gulf Coast, and you were dominated the entire game outside of the first 10 minutes of that hockey. You got to put that out of your head and focus on tonight here against Ferris State. You also have to play fast. CMU is a team that plays pretty darn fast and does well when they do so, especially with the likes of Nathan Bottles and Jay Nadeau, some 2 speedy forwards for CMU. And they also have to combine that fast play with scoring early. CMU does well when they can get on the board early. We talk about how much of a second-half team they are, and they are a second-half team, but sometimes they struggle. They put themselves in too big of deficits like we saw last night against Florida Gulf Coast when they went down 3, and they only scored with 41 seconds left in the game, so they got to score early, play fast, and focus here on tonight. That'll do it for our pregame show. We'll step aside, be back in about 15 minutes with Puck Drop here from Martin Ice Arena. We'll be right back with the Chippewas and Bulldogs coming up next here on CCHN. National anthem has concluded, and we're just about set for puck drop here from Martin Ice Arena. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. Ferris State sends out Schmidt, Newton, Ferris, Knoll, and Schiff with Dan Duran in net to our right. Central Michigan sends out Baker, Ritter, Martin, Nadeau, as well as Bottles on the forward line. Central Michigan will add from left to right across your radio dial, wearing their gold home uniforms with maroon trim, maroon numerals, maroon helmets, and maroon pants. Gold socks to go along with those jerseys. Ferris State will counter right to left, wearing their black road uniforms with red and gold trim. Gold numerals on the back, black pants, black helmets, and black socks. We've got 20 minutes on the clock. Lauren Jones will be in net to our left for Central Michigan. Puck is dropped at center ice, and Galen Baker swoops in to pick it up as we are underway at Martin Ice Arena. Nathan Bottles finishing it out in front, trying to get a hold there of Luke Weil. Down in the near corner, it's Ty Schiff battling for it. Goes into the corner on the near side, and the Ferris State end to our right. Jay Nadeau trying to fish it out of there, but Keelan Baker does a good job to keep it into the right point. Now look out, Jay Nadeau picks up a loose puck in the near circle, and he scores! Jay Nadeau, and Central Michigan strikes just 32 seconds in. What a shot by Jay Nadeau. He let it go from the bottom of the right circle, and he snuck it short side on Lucas Danduran and CMU. We talked about them needing to strike quickly in this one, and they have done just that. 32 seconds into the game. Nadeau has his fourth of the campaign. Back underway down below. Central Michigan tracing the puck into the offensive end. Ferris State dumps it down the ice, and icing will be the call. Sean O'Connor wondering why there wasn't a penalty called on Brendan Clements as they chased each other down the ice, trying to beat each other out for the icing. Draw will be to the left now of Dan Duran in the Ferris State end to our right. Connor Morgan wins the draw cleanly for Central Michigan. Near side, Clements. Clements down the half wall, lost the puck, it scoots into the slot, and Sean O'Connor's away for Ferris State. Up in the far boards, Piraleski's hammer to the wall, and Hayden Flynn comes in and lights up Piraleski across the way, and that gets the CMU bench fired up. A minute and 15 gone in the opening frame. CMU already out to a one-goal lead with help from Jay Nadeau getting his fourth of the campaign. Now on the near boards, Chase Adams works it up top to Nick DeMart. DeMart down the wall to Hank Young. He'll play it across the way into the far half boards for Ferris State. Here's a shot from the half wall. It was deflected out in front, and Central Michigan tried to get it out, but Rychuk gave it away. Ferris State dumps it in. Clements sends it across to the far side. Well, Rychuk will take it to the right boards and throw it out to neutral ice. Luke Wild chasing after it there for Central Michigan. A pass was intercepted here by Julian Johnson. Johnson backed it up the wall where Adams takes it and sends it down the ice. 2 minutes gone here in period one. CMU up 1-0. Luke Wild trying to get out of his own zone. He gets lit up there by Jordan Schmidt. A big hit there for Ferris State as CMU dumps the puck in on the net of Lucas Danduran, and he'll hold on for a whistle. Coming into this one, Danduran has only played in one game. He had a shutout back in their game against West Virginia. And so his shutout streak only lasts a game and 32 seconds before Jay Nadeau was able to crack the code. Now Jay Nadeau getting tied up in the near half boards behind the play. As plays down to the Ferris State end. Look out, here's Jordan Schmidt trying to work up the right wing. Lost the puck, and Alec Newton has to hold up at the line as Schmidt was taken in before the puck. Pass up the left wing to Ferris. It was too far for him, and Andrew Siraki will take it for Central Michigan. Siraki got knocked down as part of the breakout, and Ferris State gains control once more. 17-10 to go here in period one. Now look out, an outlet pass. Here's Ryan Ferris, feeds it across. Schmidt on the diving stop there by Jay Nadeau to cut off the centering feed. And that, for the moment, halts the Ferris State rush. 3:05 on in period one. Across the way, Ferris State trying to center it, a bouncing puck onto the stick of Ferris. He throws it down low there for Alec Newton, the leading assist getter for the Club Dogs. Threw it out in front. Keelan Baker intercepted and pitchforked it down the right wing. This will not go for icing, as back to play it is Ty Schiff. Had the only goal for Ferris State in their 4-1 loss against Central Michigan back at opening night. An hour west of here in Big Rapids. Hayden Flynn chops at that at center and sends it into the offensive end behind the net. There was Ferris State tried to clear it, didn't go, and a shot from the left point rims around and will come back to CMU territory. 4-minute mark, first period. CMU up 1-0. Here comes Isaac Gibbs up through center. He gets taken down. Referees have been letting them play here in the early goings of this hockey game. CMU trying to rebound. Likewise is Ferris State from a loss against Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast, now CMU's going to draw a penalty here. It's going to be a hooking call, my guess here, on Ferris State's Sean O'Connor. It's going to be Zach Knoll to the box. So CMU, who struggled on the power play last night, 0 for 7, gets their first opportunity. 4:22 into the contest. Draw to the left here of Dan Durand. As we're waiting to get the penalty up on the clock to our left here at Martin Ice Arena. A couple minutes off of campus here in Mount Pleasant. They have the penalty up on the board. CMU at home this season, 23.53% on the power play, and they're about 23.08. Now here's Charlie Hayes at the far point. Let her a shot go. It was wide. Bottles collects in the right corner. Throws it down low to Jay Nadeau. Nadeau works behind the goal to the far side. Throwing it out in front. It hit a skate and deflects into the near corner. There to pick it up is Nathan Bottles. Works up to the point. Now he'll try to walk back down. Loose puck to the corner. There's Keelan Baker. He'll work to the left corner and behind the net. Will take it there. Tried to throw it around behind for Nadeau, but it hit the referee. And Ferris State gets it up to the point, but not out. Kept in there by Hayes across the way. Lends it down there to Nadeau. Holds it to the top of the circle. Up top for Hayes, a one-timer. And it was blocked away there by Dan Durand. Nathan Bottles battling for to the near point. Works to this high slot across to Hayes in the far circle. He'll let a shot go. And it's gobbled up there by Dan Durand with 1:10 to go in the man advantage for CMU. Central Michigan looking good in the power play thus far. And coming in outside of last night, Central Michigan had scored on the power play in all of their games. They were held scoreless on the man advantage for the first time this season last night, when they ironically had their most power play opportunities of the campaign. Here's Connor Morgan at the far point. Threw it down low. It skipped through the wickets of Isaac Gibson into the corner. Behind the net, Porzonic sends it near side to Johnson. Up to the right point for Camara. Camara holds down the wall to Johnson once more. Johnson had it go through him. Luke Wild there to stuff it back into the near corner for Johnson. There's Rychuk on the side of the net. He was denied, and the Bulldogs clear at the length of the ice with 26 to go on the man advantage. 6-minute mark of the opening period. CMU leading 1-0 off of a Jay Nadeau goal 32 seconds into the contest. Now bodies fly across the way at the Ferris State bench. Rychuk down along with a couple of Bulldogs, including Ryan Ferris. They all get up and out of the box. Here hops Zach Knoll. CMU's 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Sam Camara pressured from behind here by Sean O'Connor. Good back check. Now they try to feed it out in front of diving Gibbs. Was able to deny that, and a puck squirted right through the crease, where Lauren Jones was lucky not to put that in his own goal. Jones comes in to this contest with a 3-1 record, a 175 goals against average. Here's a shot from the left point off the stick of O'Connor, and a good save there by Jones. His save percentage, including last night, sits at .948. He faced upwards of around 50 shots last night against Florida Gulf Coast, which oddly enough is mild compared to what Thomas Rowe faced down in Estero last year against the same Eagles. He faced upwards of 70 shots in both those contests in Southwest Florida. 12:40 to go, period 1 at Martin Ice Arena. Look out. Here was Austin Ritter with a shot on the left side. It was denied, and look out, here come the Bulldogs. Up the left wing, Colton King over the line. King into the corner, fed it out in front on a centering feed, but it was intercepted by Ritter and cleared down the ice. Bulldogs hold behind their net in their own zone to our right. They charge right to left here in the opening period. Icing waved off. Nathan Bottles is going to have to speed back there to beat King to the puck. They clash behind the goal. Bottles comes up the near wing. He does get it out, and it'll trickle all the way back into the Bulldogs' end. Behind his own net, there's Samuel Benner. He'll cross to the near side and tip the puck into the offensive end. Andrew Soraki in the left corner in Central's end is trying to clear it out, but they battle for it. He's cut off there by Adams up to the left point. Here's a shot through traffic out in front. It looked like it hit Samuel Benner, and out come the Chippewas. Loose puck in the Ferris State end was batted back out to neutral ice. Benner controls in his own line, pressured by Johnson. Good pickpocket there by the Central Michigan forward. Transferred at the start of the second semester last year from Division II Adrian, who we saw play last night. That's going to be a delayed offsides here on Ferris State as Jordan Schmidt got tangled up with Julian Johnson, and now he just took the knee out from under Luke Wild, and I have no clue how that is not a kneeing penalty. Up the right wing, here's Andrew Soraki across the line. He'll let the loose puck trickle into the corner. Isaac Gibbs goes to the boards there with Schmidt. Now look out, trying to poke the puck free. There was Andrew Miller, who we didn't see much of last night against a highly physical Florida Gulf Coast team, one of the smaller members of this team, just like we didn't see Tyler Martin, who's back defensively on a 3-on-2. And we're going to have a penalty here on Isaac Gibbs now. So Gibbs is going to head to the box at 9:26. CMU, who has had a stellar power play all year, or penalty kill all year, will face their first test of the evening. So Gibbs off. It'll put CMU down a man. Draw to the right of Lauren Jones, won by Ferris State. They look to go to work on the man advantage. Up the left point, a hammer shot there by Luke Snow was directed away by the left pillow of Lauren Jones. Up at the point, Schiff let a shot go. Jones didn't see that until it was by him. And the Chippewas collect the rebound and center the length of the ice. Central Michigan has only allowed two power play goals this season. They are 29 for 31 when down a man. That's good for 94%. Under halfway remains here in period one. CMU up 1-0. Ferris State, though, looking to capitalize on a power play with Isaac Gibbs in the box for another 112. Puck up on the near boards. Jay Nadeau tried to get it out. He was unsuccessful, though. Into the hands of Brennan Carney. Backed it down the wall near side to Sean O'Connor. O'Connor moves it behind the goal. There for Chase Adams. Adams works to the far boards. Up top there for Snow. Back down for Adams up to the near point. O'Connor will hesitate and fire a shot. That was deflected high. And Jay Nadeau will take it and fire it down the ice before accepting the check there from Sean O'Connor and going off for a change. Dan Duran tried to start the breakout quickly to Brendan Karn, but he was pressured there by Ben Reichuk. And that'll force Ferris State to rethink things and enter the zone a little bit more hesitantly. Bouncing puck around to the right point. Here's Knoll, slides it across, and it's back across for Schmidt in the far circle, but the Chippewas are able to break that up and send it the length of the ice with a quarter of a minute remaining on the Gibbs penalty. Now look out, great back check, a great forecheck there by Banner Ichuk to force some disruption in the Ferris State breakout. Now look out to the left side, entering and centering the puck there was Zach Knoll, unsuccessful as Gibbs hops out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Bulldogs still have the puck. Near side for Schmidt, back door, and a bouncing puck goes just over the stick of Hank Young, who was right on the doorstep. But lucky for CMU, the net had come off the moorings, so we get a pause in action with 8:26 to go in the period. Fans, don't forget that the CMU Club Hockey Network YouTube channel is your one-stop shop for highlights, exclusive interviews, and full game broadcasts from men's D3 and women's D2 club hockey here at Central Michigan University. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so as never to miss a moment of Chippewa hockey. Just go to YouTube and search CMU Club Hockey Network to find the channel. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey. A quick whistle there on a shot from the left point by the Bulldogs. The puck ended up going in on the rebound, but the referee sitting on the near corner lost sight of the puck and blew the whistle before the puck had gone in. He recognized that and gives a quick apology. Now look out. Oh, that was deflected right in front of Lauren Jones there by Brandon Clemens, and it almost snuck through his 5-hole on a play out in front. Lauren Jones, good job to get the stick down and make the save. And the net does end up coming off its moorings, and so we'll have another draw to the right of the Central Michigan goalkeeper. Isaac Gibbs ties up his man in the face-off circle, but the Bulldogs still have control. A shot from the left point was deflected, and the Chippewas send it down the ice. Icing is waved off. Now the Bulldogs trying to work right to left here, wearing those black sweaters, crimson and gold trim, work it up the right wing. Loose puck, Austin Ritter clearing attempt, kept in. Look out, Holt working to the right circle, a shot there by Ryan Ferris, and CMU escapes there with that giveaway. Bouncing puck at neutral ice, corralled across the way by Alec Newton, just outside the line. Left it off for Young. Young will work to the outside of the circle and fired it wide. Now a penalty coming up against Ferris State as bowling into Lauren Jones was Ryan Ferris. Jones, covered in snow, gets up. He seems to be okay, but there's going to be a goaltender interference penalty coming up here against the Bulldogs to put CMU back on the power play. As a result, the draw will go all the way back into the Ferris State end to our right. 12:38, the time of the penalty on Ferris. Second power play of the night for Central Michigan. They're 0 for 1 thus far. Isaac Gibbs kept it in left point, sends it near side for Camara. Shot through traffic, saving the rebound. Another opportunity, they jam at it in front. And Ferris State is able to clear it the length of the ice. 7:10 to go in the opening period. Central Michigan getting the lone goal thus far from Jay Nadeau, his 4th of the year. Camara had the puck lost in his skates. He gets belted across the way by Chase Adams. Central Michigan trying to move left to right here, and they do enter the zone over the line right side. Gibbs sidesteps a check, and they battle for the puck. He works out of the way with it. Now he'll let his shot go, and Vanderan didn't see it until it was by him. Here's Isaac Gibbs taking the clearing attempt at neutral ice. He'll work over the line to the far circle. Around the outside, fed it out in front, and nobody could get to it. Connor Morgan worked it up the wall to Camara left point. Camara walks the line into the high slot, let his shot go, deflected out in front with 62 seconds to go in the man advantage. Chippewas buzzing here in the offensive end, trying to keep up the pressure to extend their lead here. Down in the corner, Morgan works it up to the far point. Camara near side, Gibbs a wrist shot on goal, and Dan Durand works it with the stick and controls the rebound to hold on with 48 ticks left in the power play. Lauren Jones skating around in the zone 2 on our left, looks to be okay. Haven't seen him tested much since he got bowled over by Ryan Ferris, drawing that goaltender interference penalty. Chippewas win the draw cleanly in the offensive end, across to Hayes left circle, a shot, and he scores! Charlie Hayes has another one. He picks the top right corner, and the Chippewas have power play goals in 6 of their last 7. What a shot from Charlie Hayes. The assist will go to Martin and Nadeau. So Nadeau's got 2 on the night. Martin picked up the puck off of the draw cleanly at the right punt before sliding it over to Hayes. Look out, Bulldogs in a 2-on-2. Can't get much going as we've hit 6 minutes to go in period 1. Up at the left point. Here's a shot deflected multiple times in front of Jones, and the puck lays free behind the goal. Now they work it out in front, and a shot blocked by Hayes. Rebound. Bulldogs still have it, and a shot from the right circle was blocked. They're off the stick of Ty Schiff. Now the Chippewas try to get out. Look out. Nathan Bottles turning on the Jets. He's angled to the outside. The referee got tied up in the rush, trying to get to the boards and out of the way. Nathan Bottles holds at the far half boards. Pinned up to the wall there by Schiff. Keelan Baker swoops in to pick up the loose puck. He sent it behind the goal. It was rimmed around to the near side by the defensive Bulldogs. Puck comes out to neutralize. It pops up in the air off of Connor Morgan, and it lays just outside of the zone. Siraki's able to poke it into the offensive end. Bulldogs send it the length of the ice. Working in on the near side and around to the far corners, Chase Adams. His clearing attempt, or his pass was intercepted, and the Chippewas are able to move out, though the pass from Hayden Flynn to the near side to Connor Morgan went awry, and the Bulldogs are able to regroup back in their own end. Up the right wing, here's Barrel over the line. Barrel works in, or Barry, pardon me, works in, and he ripped his shot wide. Up the right wing, here's Connor Morgan for Central Michigan. Dumps it into the Ferris State end to our right. 4:22 to go in the opening period. CMU leads 2-0 off of goals from Nadeau and Hayes. Bulldogs hold behind their own cage and will try to work the breakout here. A bit of a miscommunication forces Luke Snow to play it on the near side. He put it on behind where Rychuk intercepted. Up to the far point for Ritter. Whole lot of wrist shot going. It's blockered up and into the netting for a halt in action. 3:56 to go in period 1. Fans, stay with us for the first intermission report, brought to you by Optimex Sports. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, including the rest of CMU athletics, as well as the rest of the ACHA here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Working behind the cage and into the near corner, Chippewas battle for it. It comes out for Connor Morgan, Luke Wild harassed from behind, and that leads to a turnover here for the Bulldogs. They give it away at the line, though. Here's Rychuk into the circle, a shot. He was forced to not get a ton on that, and it went wide. Here's Wild in the corner. Up top for Clements near point. Clements trying to walk the line. He's being harassed from behind by O'Connor, and that forces a turnover. Clements, though, was able to pick up the loose puck at the near point and work it down low to Rychuk. Rychuk out in front for Siraki. Siraki getting held up there. Clements from the right point throws it down low. Taking it there is Samuel Bauer. Bauer across the way with Luke Wild. Johnson in the left corner threw it out in front. Rychuk couldn't get a stick on it. Clements keeps it at the right point for about the 3rd time in this shift. And the last 30 seconds, it's a good shift for Clements. Johnson goes off for a change as the puck is still free in the right corner. Up top for Clements, back to Rychuk. Rychuk in the circle, is shot. He went to the back door. Nobody was there for CMU. Jay Nadeau pinching in from the left point after coming on to replace Julian Johnson. Puts some great forecheck in on the Bulldogs, and they are able to clear it the length of the ice. Icing, though, is waved off. 2:33 to go here in period 1. CMU leads 2-0 off of goals from Nadeau and Hayes. Hayes scoring on the power play, and this is going to go for icing as just beating Nathan Bottles to the nuts is Zach Knoll, and will have a stoppage of play and a draw all the way back in the Central Michigan end. Draw will be to Jones's right. Winning the draw cleanly is Jason Smith. It's worked up to the far point. Here's a shot through traffic, and it was deflected high, and Jones was able to make the save. Now Nadeau takes his man down across the way. Clements took a hit up high, and the shot from the right point was turned away there by Jones. Now Camara trying to work the puck out, getting harassed from behind, and in the midsection with a couple of hooks on his way out, he's able to get the puck ahead to Bottles. Bottles lost control of the puck, and here comes Zach Knoll up right wing. Across that line, he'll work in with a shot, shouldered away by Jones. 1:47 to go in period one. Chippewas cleared out. The speedy Siraki turned on the Jets, but he couldn't get to the puck in time, and Ferris State, after corralling the bouncing puck, will work out on left wing. Here's Ferris across that line, lost the puck. Isaac Gibbs went for the hit, and that probably should have been a penalty. As Connor Morgan still trying to work out. Gibbs is held up with Ferris, and Gibbs is going to go off here, as he should. He got tied up with Ferris on the near half boards behind the play. He was trying to get his stick free and gave Ferris a couple of shots from behind. So he's going to head off, and Ferris State, after conceding a power play goal, is going to have an opportunity of their own. Second penalty called tonight on Isaac Gibbs. He'll take a seat in the penalty box across the way as Ferris State wins the draw and looks to go to work. Down the left boards, here's Brennan Karn. Karn holds. Works it up top there for Snow High slot. He'll work it down to the far half wall for O'Connor. O'Connor holds at the top of the circle. His shot was blocked by Rychuk. Ferris State still remains in control. 65 seconds to go in the period. Behind the net, Piraleski fed it up top, off the boards for Snow at the right point. Snow will walk the line, far side to near, and he'll work it down for Karn. Karn holds in the left circle, steps in unopposed, and fires a shot, save and the rebound, clear to the slot. Another opportunity, Rychuk blocks Snow's shot. Who'll get it back? A shot, he bring it off the right post. Now Hayes, his clearing attempt goes over Ferris State's at the blue line, and they'll get it down the ice. 1:09 to go in the man advantage. 29 seconds to go in period one. Played out in the Central Michigan end to our left. They're up 2-0, but they're on the penalty kill for another 60 seconds. It's worked to the near side. Schiff played it out in front. Nobody there. Taking it across the way, it's O'Connor. O'Connor in the right circle. Lost the puck. Snow in the slot. Fires a shot. Patted away by Jones. 10 seconds to go. Camara goes to the boards. Chippewas can't clear it out. Snow with 5. Sends it to the near side for Karn. Karn will fire a shot. Save. And the rebound off the side of the net as time expires. Ferris State pushed about as hard as they could in the final minute on that power play, but Lauren Jones able to keep the puck out of the net. And we head to the second with CMU up 2-0. We'll recap the first 20 minutes when we come back. It's the first intermission report coming up right after this here on CCHN. Reagan Cleaves bringing you back here, Radio Ringside, or after 20 minutes of play here at Martin Ice Arena, Central Michigan leads 2-0, doubling their goal total from last night in their loss against Florida Gulf Coast. They came out of the gate hot, scoring just 20 seconds into the opening frame with Jay Nadeau letting a shot go from the bottom of the left circle. It snuck past Bartholomew, and CMU was up 1-0 just 26 seconds in. Then Charlie Hayes got things going for CMU on the power play, their first power play goal of the weekend. Coming in to last night, they had scored power play goals in every one of their games, but last night they were held 0 for 7 on the man advantage, so tonight they wasted no time getting on the score sheet with a power play goal, coming at 14:02 of that opening period. Charlie Hayes getting it another one on the campaign. He has been phenomenal for Central Michigan, getting his 4th tally of the season thus far. The assists on that one went to Christopher Martin and Keelan Baker. Baker won the draw cleanly in the right circle, worked it up top to Martin, who slid it across to Hayes. He worked into the left circle unopposed and picked the top right corner past the Ferris State netminder Hunter Bartholomew, who is wearing Lucas Danduran's jersey. We had that wrong in the opening period, but so Bartholomew, who Central Michigan did face in that opening game back on October 23rd, he is back in net for Ferris State, and he made 7 saves in that opening period, where Lauren Jones turned aside all 11 of Ferris State's shots. He must have had somewhere along the lines of 4 or 5 shots in the last 5 seconds of that game, or that first period alone. He was stopping shots left and right, was the Central Michigan netminder, and he has stood up to the task thus far, at least through the first 20 minutes. Taking a look at the out-of-town scoreboard for Central Michigan hockey, CMU D3 is the only one in action here today, but earlier in the weekend, the women's team remained undefeated with a series sweep of Bowling Green. They won in 2-1 overtime fashion, their second win in the extra frame this season against Bowling Green to close out that series. That was yesterday, early on in the day here on CCHN. And then D2 lost in a shootout to Adrian 3-2. That's a disappointing loss. They were up with about 1.5 minutes left in that game. They ended up dropping that game in a shootout, but they do get a point out of it, and those points are desperately needed in conference play. And getting one off of Adrian, a traditional powerhouse at the D2 level, is a big win for sure, although, albeit a symbolic win for the Chippewas D2 squad. Taking a look at the rest of CMU athletics, field hockey today beat Lindenwood 6-0 at Lindenwood. Dominating performance for field hockey. Good for them to get back in the win column. And for soccer, they take on Akron. That game started about an hour ago down in Akron, Ohio. We'll get you a score after that game is done. Now we'll take a look at the rest of Central Michigan the rest of the ACHA D3 hockey here today. Not much going on here on a Sunday, as most teams are using this as a travel day to get back to their respective homelands, especially after trips. Taking a look, a lot of action on the East Coast in New London, Connecticut. Wheaton taking on the Coast Guard Academy, who Central Michigan played last season in the pool play. That game kicks off at 3 o'clock. Then we've got out in Maine, Central Maine Community College taking on University of New England at 3:30. Down in Maryland, Pennsylvania Western University, California taking on Stevenson at 6. As we mentioned, LSSU, who is 0-6, taking on a 3-1 Adrian team down in Adrian. That one starts at 4 p.m. Northern Arizona University taking on East Texas Baptist at 12:30 Central. Down in Arizona, Arkansas taking on North Texas at 2 p.m. Central, and Robert Morris will take on University of Pittsburgh Johnstown at 2:30. Zamboni is off the ice, and we will be off the air for just a little bit. We'll be back with the second period coming up right after this here on CCHN. 2-0. CMU leads it heading into the middle frame. Both teams are back on the ice down below us here at Martin Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves with you on the call from Martin Ice Arena. Again, we apologize that it's only radio here this afternoon, but with the lack of people on campus with fall break and whatnot, we haven't been able to get anybody to help us run camera, so I hope that you will forgive our lack of video here today, and I hope I can do a decent enough job of keeping you updated on this game. CMU will head from right to left. They've got 37 seconds left, and then Isaac Gibbs penalty. They will be defending the net to our right. Ferris State the net to our left as they head left to right wearing those black uniforms with crimson and gold trim. And CMU wearing those gold home uniforms with maroon numerals as well as maroon trim. We are underway about 10 seconds into this one. CMU 25 seconds left in the man advantage. Oh, a bad giveaway there by Julian Johnson at the blue line. Great back check though by Ben Reichuk to pick up the loose puck and sky it down the ice where Bartholomew will step out of the net and send it out to neutral ice. It was kicked to the near side by Jordan Schmidt. Back in his own end, here's Alec Newton working cross-ice feed. There for Schmidt, who'll work across the line left side. Work into the shot. As out of the box hops Isaac Gibbs. This one sent the length of the ice. Icing waved off. Bartholomew's going to come out of his net with the pressure from Isaac Gibbs. And he'll work the puck to the far half boards. Now a bouncing puck intercepted there by Isaac Gibbs on the redirect. He'll fire a shot. It was going wide, but it'll be gloved out of the air by Hunter Bartholomew with 53 seconds gone here in this second period. CMU now 2 for 2 on the penalty kill and 1 for 2 on the man advantage, with Hayes' 4th of the year coming on the power play. Back at the 14:02 mark of period 1. Now Ferris State wins the draw defensively and will work it to the far half boards. O'Connor tried to feed it across. It was deflected, though, by Hayden Flynn. And the Bulldogs move out right wing. Piraleski cutting in to the net from the side, and a good save there by Lauren Jones. Now look out, Isaac Gibbs deflected the puck. He's got a 2-on-1 with Morgan. Gibbs down the left side will work and fire it and score! Isaac Gibbs hops out of the box and comes down the ice and scores to put CMU up 3-0 here, slipping it through the 5-hole of Hunter Bartholomew, and the Chippewas have a commanding 3-goal lead. And folks, for Isaac Gibbs, that is goal number 8 on the campaign and only game number 6 for him. He missed the first game of the Cleary series. But other than that, he has scored goals in every one of his games, as icing is called here against CMU. But Isaac Gibbs has points in every game. He was held off the score sheet last night, aside from an assist that ended his 4-game goal streak, but he has just extended his point streak to 6. Now Keelan Baker picks up a loose puck. He's into the offensive zone, works into the shot, and a good glove save there by Bartholomew, taking away the top right corner from the speedy Central Michigan captain. And we'll have another draw to Bartholomew's right. Jay Nadeau is going to dig in there with Chase Adams in the left circle. Adams won it cleanly, and it'll be Snow to try and work out, but he's pressured here by Nathan Bottles. It's tied up along the half wall. Bulldogs in black eventually are able to work it out, but only as far as neutral ice, where a pass is intercepted there by Sam Camara. He works D-to-D for Clements before his pass was intercepted, and it's played back at neutral ice. Bulldogs will retreat into their own end. A pass through center, deflected away by Baker. Clements holds D-to-D near side. There to Camara. Camara circles in his own end, pressured here by the Bulldogs. They send it to the near side. Jay Nadeau trying to work out. Plays it for Keelan Baker. He had a nifty move to get it back near side to Bottles. Bottles around the outside, fires his shot. That was easily sticked away by Bartholomew. Now the rebound out in the slot, and it'll be taken by the Bulldogs, and they move out. Up the right wing, it's rimmed around the boards. Jones out of his net to play it. Central Michigan right to left here in the second period, wearing those gold jerseys. Ferris State working left to right in black. Here's Clements trying to clear the puck down the ice. It was foiled, though, and Ferris State will put it back behind Lauren Jones. Luke Wild battling forward across the way. A long stretch pass was tipped in center, but Andrew Siraki picks it up nonetheless over the line left side. Pardon me, that's Julian Johnson. Oh, working to the near corner. Rims it around behind for Rychuk far point. Rychuk works it down low to Johnson. Back up to the right point, Hayes. Hayes at the far side, lets a shot go. Trying to get the redirect in front for Rychuk. That didn't work. Rychuk takes it on the near side and throws it around the boards. Charlie Hayes tried to pinch down from the point to negate that clearing attempt, but that didn't work. And now a shot from the right point there by Luke Wild was redirected out in front by Julian Johnson. And with the quick reflexes, Hunter Bartholomew was able to squeeze the pads and hold on with 16:14 to go in period 2. Draw will be to the left of Hunter Bartholomew. Johnson to dig in with Karn. Off the tie-up, Karn was able to win it for the Bulldogs, and they'll work out. Up the near wing, here's Pierleski across that line. Drops it back. Here's O'Connor in with a shot, saved by Jones, and the rebound lays behind the goal. Now Luke Wild gets pummeled, but he gets back up with the puck and will start the breakout for CMU, but he got his signals crossed with the right chuck, and combined with the back check by Ferris State, forces CMU to regroup. Pass intercepted in neutral ice. Ferris State to retreat back to their own end. 4:18 gone here in period 2. Up the left wing, Pierleski across that line. Holwork down into the corner, backhanding it out in front. O'Connor couldn't get good wood on it. He had a wide open net on the doorstep. From the right point, it's thrown around by Schiff. Behind the goal, puck is free. Johnson digging for it. Along there with Avery Rivard. Up the left point, it's held here by Zach Nohol. Tee it up and fire a shot, blocked in front by Karn. Bulldogs get it back. Up at the left point, here's a hammer shot. That was blocked by Sean O'Connor accidentally. And it'll bounce on goal. And held on to by Lauren Jones. 15:09 to go, period 2. From Martin Ice Arena, Reagan Cleaves inside the booth. CMU leads 3-0 off of goals from Nadeau, Hayes, and Gibbs. Connor Morgan along the far half wall looks to move it out. His clearing attempt was intercepted, though, by Nick DeMarte. Bouncing puck around by Isaac Gibbs, who'll move it across the line right side. He'll hold up in the far circle, let a shot go. Blocked out in front, and it'll be taken away here by the Bulldogs. Chase Adams leaves it ahead there for Colton King. King lost control of the puck and entered the zone before, and that'll force the Bulldogs to regroup at neutral ice before dumping it in. Austin Ritter back in the far corner defensively. Off the boards behind the net to the near side. Outlet pass. Here's Hayden Flynn behind the defense. He pushed the puck just too far for him, and it'll go to the corner, but he still maintains control. He tried to work it up the point for Christopher Martin. It worked, but Martin's return feed for Hayden did not go so well, and it's into Bulldog hands with over 5 minutes played here in period 2. Here's King along the near side. Good back check there by Connor Morgan. Puck was poked free to Isaac Gibbs. Gibbs entering the zone, pulls into the slot to the backhand. Tried to go to the forehand, couldn't get a good shot off, and a centering attempt was popped up in the air off the deflection. Overskating the puck there was Schmidt. Chippewas are able to get the puck, but only momentarily, as out comes the Bulldog forward. And now Ferris State's going to be whistled down offside here with 6:17 gone in period 2. Draw just outside the Central Michigan line across the way. Nadeau won the draw cleanly. Back to Clements. Clements played it to neutral ice. Here's Baker over the line near side. Baker let a shot go. Saving the rebound out in front. Oh, and Bottles pushed it just wide. Now his feet out in front for Nadeau was intercepted. Here come the Bulldogs with speed. Snow's pass was knocked down, though, and Nadeau will take it in the top of the right circle in the offensive end and fire it wide. Bouncing puck at the near point right in front of us here. It was worked free. Newton backhanded it across the way for Schmidt. Schmidt works in with a shot and a save there by Lauren Jones. Puck free in the near corner, rimmed around the boards across the way. Cyril Berry keeps it in and he scores! Berry letting one go from the top of the left circle, and his first of the year and his first as a Bulldog puts the Bulldogs on the board. It's 3-1. So Barry's first of the year, coming at 6:56 of the second period. Puts the Bulldogs right back in, and now they come right off the draw. And Schmidt in on a 2-on-1, elected to go with a shot, and it was gloved out of the air by Lauren Jones. Two goals, one aside here in period 2. Central Michigan trying to rebound from a 3-1 loss a night ago to Florida Gulf Coast. They got out to a hot start, but Bulldogs have come back and brought themselves back within two. Now Newton fed it out in front. A shot from the slot was denied. We'll take it back left corner, work it up top. Along to the near side for Snow at the point. He'll let a shot go off the side of the net. Rebound loose out in front, and they score! Confusion reigns supreme in the Central Michigan end, as Jones couldn't find it as the puck went off the side of the net on the shot from Snow, and Schmidt buries the loose puck out in front, and the Bulldogs, just like that, are back within one. .30 seconds apart are the Bulldogs' goals. This one coming from Schmidt. Assist should go to Snow, as his shot from the top of the right circle was the one that went off the side of the net, and it trickled out in front. It looked like Lauren Jones may have had the initial save on the first attempt, but it might have gotten through him. We'll have to get the official word for you during the intermission. Right now, CMU, allowing 2 goals in 30 seconds, has seemed to be put on the back foot here. Now up the right wing, here's Piraleski over the line for Ferris State. He looked to be off sides with O'Connor, but referees deemed it was onside. Across the way, puck is tied up, but the Chippewas are able to get it out. Back into his own end, retreating here is Ty Schiff, the defenseman, the only goal scorer for Ferris State in these two teams' previous matchup. Now it's worked down, Piraleski down low to O'Connor. O'Connor up the wall for Schiff. Schiff in the right circle, lets a shot go. It was blocked by Baker, and the Chippewas are able to get it out. Momentum all the way to the side of the black sweaters here at Martin Ice Arena. Now here's Connor Morgan trying to change that. Oh, work around from far side to near behind the net and work up the wall. Centered it out in front for Ritter. His shot was blocked. And it's corralled here by Brendan Karn. Karn will circle in his own end with 9 minutes gone here in period one. Icing will be the call against Ferris State. They're going to need to put some players back out on the ice after they tried to get a quick line change there. 9 minutes even gone in period two. CMU scored the first 3 goals of this hockey game. And Ferris State has countered with 2 goals in 30 seconds. Barry getting his first of the campaign at 6:56 before Schmidt added on to his team leading 9 goals, getting his 10th of the campaign 30 seconds later at 7:26. Now Clements and Bottles pair up after the draw to try to get something going here for the Maroon and Gold on the offensive end. Puck is tied up along the end boards. Bottles in there with Nadeau for CMU, and it's Karn and O'Connor along the boards for Ferris State. O'Connor eventually pulls the puck free and will start the Bulldog rush. Right, left to right, but his pass was cut off there by Keelan Baker and sent back in. 10:27 to go here, period two. CMU up 3-2. A centering feed from Clements was cut off, and here come the Bulldogs. Karn up to Piraleski, trying to get too fancy. Oh, he works around Kamara. The circle is shot, and Jones makes the save. A couple of nifty moves at the blue line near side for Piraleski, but he was able to get a shot off, and Jones was able to make the save. So we'll have a stoppage of play with 10:13 to go here in period two. Draw to Lauren Jones' left, and the CMU end to our right is won by the Bulldogs, or won by the CMU. They get it up and out. Look out, here's Hayden Flynn behind the defense. He'll tee it up and fire a shot. It was bouncing, he couldn't get a ton on it. Now, Connor Morgan left it off for Isaac Gibbs. Puck loose in the slot. Pickpocketed there by Alec Newton. Up left wing here, Schmidt over the line. Schmidt's got 10 goals, one of them denied, and he tried to feed it back door. Couldn't find Hank Young. Here comes Andrew Siraki, played it up the wing. Isaac Gibbs got tangled up with the linesman at the near point. And that led to the Bulldogs gaining control and working it back into their own end. Now look out, a pass was intercepted, and Connor Morgan fell down and couldn't make anything of it. Isaac Gibbs scoops up the loose puck at neutral ice, works in onside, but he flipped the puck in ahead of his man, and the Bulldogs will hold behind their own net and play to the near side. Loose puck, Siraki stuffed the clearing attempt. He's got it left half wall. A shot loose out in front. They jam away at it. Rychuk comes away, trying to feed it out in front. It was blocked. Up to the right point is Ritter. Hold on to it. Fire his shot. And gloved out of the air by Bartholomew with 9:04 to go in the period. The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association and the CMU Club Hockey Network. No reproduction, retransmissions, or other distributions of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the ACHA and CCHN. Draw to the left of Bartholomew. Chippewas gained control as it's one back to their side, but it was poked out of there by Hank Young. He's in a race for the puck with Austin Ritter. Gets to it. First does Ritter, but his pass was intercepted, and the Bulldogs work in with a shot from in tight. And Jones made the save. Now it's free behind his goal. It's worked up the wall far side to Woodstock. Woodstock, his shot was off to the side of the net. Austin Ritter takes his man to the boards as they battle behind the net for the loose puck. Julian Johnson swoops in for CMU and takes it the length of the ice. Icing will be the call here, as getting the knot first is Cyril Berry with 8:31 to go here in period 2. Draw will be to the right of Lauren Jones. In for the draw, it'll be Julian Johnson for Central Michigan, and winning the draw is Adams. Now the Bulldogs work in. A quick shot there by King in the left circle was denied, and the Chippewas sky the rebound on a play. $8:24 to go, period 2. Central Michigan, things started off quite well for them as they scored just 20 seconds in with Jane Adu's fourth of the year. Hayes got his fourth of the year on the power play sometime later at the 14-minute mark. And since then, aside from the goal for CMU by Gibbs early on in the second, it's been Bulldogs the last 2 goals. Here's Nathan Bottles over the line left side. Had the puck poked away and a good defensive work there by Adams. Now the Bulldogs work out in a 3-on-4. That could have been offsides, but the Bulldogs' King has it in the near corner. He and Baker go after it. Bodies spill onto the ice, and the Bulldogs' pass to the point was just too far there for Ty Schiff, and they'll have to chase it back into their own end. Puck is played with a high stick, but on CMU's end, but the Bulldogs touch up first, and that'll negate it over the line. O'Connor into the right corner. Lost the puck in the circle, though, and they go to the half wall. Baker backhands it up to the point and out as it skipped over the stick of Schiff. Will play it back into his own end and hold it there. Here's Schiff dancing through neutral ice across the center ice Martin Ice Arena logo. Will enter the zone and fire a shot. And Lauren Jones snags it with the left catching glove for a whistle with 7:16 to go here in period 2. CMU has been put on the back foot a little bit since that 2-goal flurry by Ferris State. Ferris State seems to have all the momentum here. In last game between these two teams, it was Ferris State who scored first and just a couple of minutes into the contest, and since then, and from that first goal, it was all CMU. Was Baker, Gibbs, Morgan, and Bottles to tally goals at Ava Glavin. Now Gibbs from a sharp angle. It's taken to the boards, and now Andrew Porzondik crunches Ty Schiff into the boards, and he's going to draw a penalty here. There goes Bartholomew to the bench, and Nathan Bottles will touch up at neutral ice. And Andrew Porzondik, he is ticked as he goes to the bench. He had a rough start to the day and came onto the ice late as a result. And in his first shift, he draws a penalty. 13-16, the time of the call. Ferris State on their third power play of the afternoon. CMU wins the draw and gets it out. Rychuk on the forecheck. Great job there by CMU's forward. This is going to go down the ice, and icing is going to be the call. And now Ferris State's up in arms. They thought that puck was tipped to neutral ice. I didn't see it tipped, and they are going to change their mind and wave off the icing. It's going to be put at neutral ice. So now Ben Rychuk's asking why the draw is at center ice, and linesman gives Rychuk the explanation it was tipped, and he's like, oh yeah, fair enough. I get it. Rychuk's a pretty reasonable dude once you... Oh, now a penalty's going to come up on Ferris State, and now Johnson's getting into it here right off the face-off with Ryan Ferris, and CMU's bench is getting up. And it's going to be a cross-checking penalty on Ferris, so that's going to negate the rest of the power play for Ferris State, and it'll put us at a 4-on-4 for the next 1 minute and 40 seconds. So Ferris off. This will open up the ice a little bit. We'll see who this favors. Ferris State, a bit of a more speedy team and coming off a little bit more rest than CMU is. They did the Chippewas last night at 5 against Florida Gulf Coast. Ferris State took on Florida the previous night at 10. Now look out here, Siraki with a shot, saving the rebound. Goes into the far corner. Jay Nadeau throwing his weight around as he goes to the corner, and he gets bumped from behind there by Schmidt. Schmidt works out with the puck. He got it poked away. Now Nadeau in the slot, dropped it off for Bundles. Toe drag into the circle, lost the puck to Schmidt, and he'll take it, and he falls before he sends the length of the ice. And icing will be the call with 59 seconds to go in the Porzondik minor, and thus in the 4-on-4. .5:42 remaining in period 2. CMU scored the first 3 goals of the game. Ferris State has come back to bring themselves within 1. Now Isaac Gibbs on the 4-on-4, let a shot go from the top of the right circle. It was wide. Austin Ritter backed it down the boards on the rebound. Behind the goal, Ferris State trying to break out. Jordan Schmidt plays it up the right wing, over the line. Well offside is Alec Newton. And that one was going to be called for certain, as he was over the line about a full second before the puck came across. And with 40 seconds left in the 4-on-4, the draw off that offsides will come all the way back in the Ferris end, because that's where the pass originated from. Chippewas win the offensive zone draw. Bodies spill in the circle. And Martin's shot. Oh, and here's a big hit on the near side by Isaac Gibbs as they go after the rebound. Connor Morgan taking his man to the boards. Loose puck comes up the wall. Morgan slides it across to look out. It hit O'Connor's skate, and a loose puck comes back on the Chippewa end. O'Connor and Morgan racing after it. O'Connor beats his man to it, feeds it out in front. And the Bulldogs wanting a penalty is getting tied up there with Austin Ritter. Was number 15, Chase Adams. 7 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Loose puck at the Ferris line. O'Connor will pick it up and take it back into his own end. Out of the box hops Porzondik. Chippewas have an abbreviated 20-second power play. Pass ahead for O'Connor, went off of his skate. He'll collect it at neutral ice. Great back check there by Gibbs, but he slashes the stick out of O'Connor's hand, and that will be a penalty on Isaac Gibbs, his 3rd minor penalty of the evening. So he's going to go off for a slash, an abbreviated 4-on-4 here for 9 seconds. Will be the case. 4:33 left here in period 2. So outside of Isaac Gibbs, CMU has only had 1 penalty. Problem is, Isaac Gibbs has had 3 of them himself. 4 seconds left in the 4-on-4. A shot from the left point was deflected just wide. Out of the box, hops Ferris State's Adams, and we're back to a Ferris State power play. CMU will take the puck at their own half wall and clear it the length of the ice. They are 3 for 3 on the penalty kill here this afternoon. Working up, here's Zach Knoll across that line left side. Whole work into the circle, around the outside of it, trying to find a man in the back door, and Alec Newton didn't work. Newton in the corner, feeds it down low. They center it out in front. Loose puck in front, and there's going to be a penalty here on CMU. It's going to be a cross-checking minor, and Brandon Clements is going to go off, and this is going to be a 1 minute and 20-second 5-on-3 here for Ferris State. Clements got tied up in front on a net front battle, and he'll draw a cross-checking penalty. So a massive opportunity here for Ferris State. 16:08 the time of the Clements penalty. They got a 5-on-3 for a minute and 20. Pass to the near side, they look to go to work. Ferris, top of the circle, fires a shot, saving the rebound, loose in front of Jones. And it comes to the near side. Schiff plays it behind the net and across the way. Taking it there is Knoll at the top of the circle. He'll fire a shot, blocked out in front. Rebound taken by Hayes and lifted the length of the ice. 53 to go in the 5-on-3. CMU clinging to a 1-goal lead here in the closing minutes of period number 2. Over the line, here's Ferris right side. Into the corner, backs it up the wall for Ty. Schiff had a goal in the opening game between these two clubs. He fed it out in front. Loose puck is jammed to the far corner there by Ferris. Up at the point, here's Newton working into the right circle. Fed it across. Jones had it blocked out in front of him. Loose puck is poked to the right point and out. Racing off the ice here is Keelan Baker. He's changed there by Nadeau, a temporary 5-on-2 across the way. 10 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Up at the right point, shot was blocked, saving the rebound. Loose out in front, and the Chippewas are able to clear. As out of the box comes Isaac Gibbs here, and the Chippewas have killed off the first penalty. And it's Brendan Clements who still has 35 seconds to serve in his minor. 2:22 to go in the period. Here's Pieraleski up left wing. Protects the puck to the outside as he moves across the line. Nadeau takes him down as they go jamming into the corner. Referees keep their arms down. In the right corner, here's Snow in the right circle. Up top to O'Connor. He falls down, fires it, and Jones didn't see it until it hit his stick and caromed up into him. And hold for a much-needed whistle here for Central Michigan. 12 seconds to go in the Clements minor. For CMU, just take a breath here. It's been a hectic last couple of minutes, and you do need to kill off the final 12 seconds. As Ferris State has had all the momentum since their last 2 goals. O'Connor right off the draw in the circle, fan on the shot, getting it back. Here's Schiff with a shot, and Lauren Jones snags it with the left glove and holds on, and has a bit of a chat, friendly version, with Pieraleski out in front. 5 seconds to go in the power play for Ferris State. Draw to Lauren Jones's left. Ferris trying to get a quick shot off the draw, and the Chippewas are able to come out right wing. Here's Camara over the line, protects the puck to the outside, holds behind the cage, tried to center it out in front, couldn't do it. Puck free to the near corner, bouncing puck coming out in front. Bulldogs clear to the line, but not out. Here's Johnson with a shot blocked there by O'Connor. 1:34 to go in the period. Up at the right point, it could not be. It was kept in there by Siraki, and it's tipped the length of the ice. Negating the icing. Camara back in the near corner. Gets crunched to the boards. Chippewas trying to break out. Puck popped up in the air. It bounces in the right circle. It's picked up there by Jordan Schmidt. The Chippewa end to our right. He was taken over there by Nathan Bottles, who throws it around the boards. Julian Johnson turned and fired it out of the zone to neutral ice. Back in his own end to play it. Here's Cyril Berry. Berry got the first Bulldog goal. Back here in the second. Long outlet pass to Schmidt down the line left side. He'll work in on a shot, and he scores! 3 unanswered goals for Ferris State. And they are right back in this one as they tie it up with under a minute to go. What a wicked wrister by Jordan Schmidt in the left circle. Pit the near side corner on Lauren Jones, and a 19:07. The Bulldogs have the momentum and have tied this contest at 3. Hayden Flynn, here's Isaac Gibbs left side. His shot was blocked by Burner to the end boards. 40 seconds to go in the second period. CMU, that's a tough goal to give up, is right after you kill off a 5-on-3 for an extended 1:20. Now here's Isaac Gibbs from a sharp angle, denied by Bartholomew. Rebound to the side of the net. Hayden Flynn taken to the wall. He shoves down Ferris, and Ferris, injured as he goes to the ice, may look to me like he may have gone limp underneath Hayden Flynn. A bit intentionally, as Flynn gave him a little bit of a shove to the back, trying to battle for that puck in the left corner. It'll draw a face-off here with 20 seconds left to the right of Bartholomew in the Ferris end, 2 on left. They've scored 3 straight in the second period after Isaac Gibbs opened up the scoring, 1:18 into the second. Off the tie-up, we're going to have a helmet come off here. And off the ice is going to come Ryan Ferris. .7 to go here in period 2. Ferris is off the ice. He's replaced by Brennan Karn. Karn will win the draw cleanly against Isaac Gibbs. Puck free in the left corner, though. Here's Nathan Bottles of the backhand shot. And Bartholomew saw it all the way with 12 seconds to go here in period 2. Draw will be once again to Bartholomew's right. Gibbs to dig in with Ferris now as he gets back on the ice after having his helmet come off. Look out, Ferris State wins the draw, and they're up ice quickly. Here's Schmidt taking a long shot. It was blocked quickly. It'll go to the near corner. Austin Ritter taken down from behind. It's fed out in front. Chippewas are able to get it up and out as time expires here in the second period. Chippewas had a 3-goal lead, 1:18 into the second, and Ferris State has come roaring back to tie it at the end of 40 minutes. We'll step aside. Second intermission report coming up next here on your home for CMU D3 Club Hockey. Not a good period for Central Michigan University as they started out things well, building on a 2-goal first period with Isaac Gibbs scoring a minute and 18 into the period, but from there it was all Ferris State. At 6:56, Cyril Berry picked up a puck in the top of the left circle and fired it past Lauren Jones' top short side, and that brought Ferris State on the scoreboard for the first time in this game. They then, just 30 seconds later, Schmidt got his first of the evening at 7:26, and it was just like that. Ferris State was back in this, and things seemed to be going well for CMU. After that, they seemed to recover a little bit. They got a power play, were able to get some productivity on that, get some shots on goal, some opportunities out in front. But then at 15:27, Isaac Gibbs took a penalty, 2 minutes for a slash, and about 40 seconds later, Brendan Clements went off for a cross-check, leaving Central Michigan on a very long 5-on-3 penalty kill, which they killed off very well, and that left us with about 2 minutes to go in the second period. Well, things all seemed fine and well until Jordan Schmidt took a puck up the left wing. He worked over the line, and just from the last circle, fired a shot, and it seemed like a little bit like Lauren Jones wasn't expecting it as it ripped by him. Just a well-placed shot from Schmidt to get his second of the night and 11th on the campaign. The assists on that one go to Brennan Karn and Alec Newton. Newton gets another assist to add onto his impressive total of 9 in 9 games. And so we head to the third period with Ferris State and CMU deadlocked at 3 through 40 minutes. Shots on goal in that second period. Ferris State again on top, 17-12, building on their 11-9 advantage in the first period, giving them a 40-minute total of 28-21 for Ferris State. And for CMU, it's batten down the hatches and look to get some opportunities your way as you go on into this third period of play. Taking a look at our out-of-town scoreboard, the Grand Rapids Griffins are inactive today after splitting a weekend series with the San Diego Gulls to open up their 2022-23 campaign. They're back in action on Wednesday against Milwaukee at 7 p.m. You can watch that game on AHL TV or listen on Wood Radio 1300 106.9 FM. Bob Kaiser and Larry Frigursky will have the call for you starting at about 6:35. That is on Wednesday. As for the Saginaw Spirit, they are again inactive tonight after taking on the Erie Otters yesterday. They lost 4-3 in overtime. They will take on the Windsor Spitfires on the road on the 20th. That will come later this week on Thursday. The Detroit Red Wings. Let's get that score pulled up for you here. The Detroit Red Wings last night defeated New Jersey 5-2. They are out to a good 2-0 start after beating Montreal on opening night. They will be back in action tomorrow against the 1-2 Los Angeles Kings at 7 p.m. You can watch that game on Valley Sports Detroit or listen on WXYT 97.1 out of Detroit. Taking a look at the rest of the National Hockey League scores going on today on this Sunday, October 16th. And if you take a look at upcoming scores on Monday, as no teams in the NHL active here this afternoon. The Ducks will visit the Rangers tomorrow at 7, along with that time slot with the Coyotes at the Maple Leafs. Panthers visit the Bruins, who are 2-0, coming off of wins against the Coyotes, or against a win against the Coyotes last night. The Penguins visit the 1-2 Canadiens, as well as the Canucks at the Capitals. The Red Wings host the Kings. Now, all of that in the 7 o'clock hour. And now we turn into the 8 o'clock hour tomorrow. Avalanche will take on the Wild Jets and the Stars at 8:30 before the Kraken and the Hurricanes wrap things up in the National Hockey League tomorrow at 10 p.m. Zamboni's off the ice. Teams are just about to get back on. We'll step aside, have the third period for you when we come back here on CCHN. Central Michigan is making their way onto the ice, as you can hear by the goal horn across the way. And this has been a weekend of firsts for CMU. Their first loss and the first time they were trailing after two. In this game against Ferris State, this is the first time they're tied after two. We talked about this being a test of resilience coming off of a 3-1 loss against Florida Gulf Coast last night. This will be an even tougher here in this third period, as goals by Berry and 2 by Schmidt in the latter 15 minutes of that second period see this game knotted up at 3 as we go into the third period. Both benches on their feet, banging the boards with their sticks as the puck is dropped at neutral ice. And we are underway here in the final period of regulation at Martin Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves inside the broadcast booth with you here. Jay Nadeau took a man down. No penalty coming, oddly enough, as it was Alec Newton who popped right back up and got to the loose puck as Nadeau didn't want to touch the puck in case there would have been a penalty. Now it's lifted down the left wing boards and after it into the Ferris State zone. To our right is Nathan Bottles. He beat his man to it. Here's Baker from a tight angle along the half wall. He couldn't get it home. Bottles takes it, moves it up the wall. His pass was ineffective though as it took an odd angle and is on to Newton. Near side, here's Schmidt over the line. 3-on-2, drips it back for a shot saved by Jones, and the rebound is cleared away by CMU and sent the length of the ice. Beautiful opportunity there for Ferris State, but they ended up being unable to convert on the 3-on-1. And so we remain deadlocked 53 seconds into period 3. Central Michigan going left to right here in this third period, wearing gold home uniforms with maroon trim. And the Bulldogs right to left and have an offensive zone draw here. They can't win it cleanly, and a bouncing puck goes to the far side for Keelan Baker to pick it up. The Central Michigan captain will steam to the left side and dump the puck in. Jay Nadeau in the right corner. Nadeau throws it around behind once more, but nobody in a gold sweater there to pick it up. Up the right wing, Samuel Benner moves it out to neutral ice. It's thrown in there by Joseph Woodstock, and the Chippewas have to regroup. That took an odd carom off, and Morgan was taken down. And now here's O'Connor in with a shot from the left circle. It was denied and thrown out in front, and that net came off almost with a feather-light touch behind Lauren Jones, as it was Piraleski and Isaac Gibbs battling for the loose rebound. They ran into the 6x4 frame, and will have a draw to the left of Lauren Jones. Gibbs wins it cleanly. Hayes rifles it around the boards up the near wing. Connor Morgan took a hit up high, but Hayden Flynn will chase the loose puck into the zone. He'll pressure Samuel Benner. Hayes steps into one, and oh, he ripped it just high. Now Andrew Siraki will throw it back into the CMU end, and Charlie Hayes will reverse it to the near side for Siraki. His pass back down for Hayes, hit a Ferris State Bulldog, and will come back out to neutral ice. Morgan battling for it there with Pierre-Alaski. Loose puck comes free to Isaac Gibbs. Gibbs battling for it at neutral ice. It's eventually poked into the Ferris State end to all right. Gibbs hammers Barry into the boards as the puck comes free into the slot. Coming across, Barry lost control of the puck. Will get it back across center ice. Will forward it on ahead to Pierre-Alaski, who pitchforks it into the offensive end. Sam Camara plays it defenseman to defenseman. To Clements, who got it out to neutral ice. Loose puck is free there. Going for the body there was Sam Camara, and it worked as he had some help with Ben Rychuk coming back. Pass up right wingers, Luke Wild over the line. Couldn't get the puck, and Ben Rychuk throwing his weight into the boards against Snow as they go into the far corner. They battle for it there. Rychuk still being held there. Wild dropped it off for Camara, threw it down low to Rychuk. Rychuk around the boards to the near side for Johnson. Johnson trying to feed it out in front. It popped up in the air. Rychuk batted it down. He takes his tumble, and the loose puck comes to the near boards. Camara good work coming in from the blue line to battle for it there. Johnson fills his spot at the right point and holds the loose puck. He'll try to throw it down. First time didn't work, second time does. Puck free behind the net. Ben Rychuk kept the puck in. Here's Clements with a shot through traffic, blocked there by the midsection of Chase Adams. Puck again free to the right point. Here's Clements, steps into one, and a shot saved by Bartholomew. Hold on. A good offensive zone shift there for Central Michigan as they applied the pressure. And again, Clements keeping the puck in at the right point about 3 or 4 times in that flurry and keeping the pressure on the Bulldogs in their defensive zone. CMU in the third period this season has outscored opponents 11-2. They also have a total of 32 goals scored for 9 allowed. Here's a shot by Nathan Bottles from the right half wall that's gloved down again easily by Bartholomew. 3:39 mark of the third period. Draw to the left of Bartholomew. Chasing after it is Nadeau after forcing a tie-up off the draw. Nadeau drops it back for Ritter. A race shot through traffic. Saved by Bartholomew. Rebound is cleared by the goal paddle of the netminder. And Schmidt will move out ahead to Ferris down the line left side. Ferris, he's taken down by Nadeau. And that's going to draw a penalty against Central Michigan. Oddly enough, Nadeau's not going to go off for tripping. He's going to go off for slashing. But either way, he's the culprit of a penalty. That'll test the Central Michigan penalty kill once again. They're already 5 for 5 in the evening. With their biggest test coming back at the tail end of that third period with a 5-on-3 for 1:40, which they killed off successfully. Ferris State wins the defensive zone draw and looks to set up. Here's Newton, dropped it off for Ferris. Ferris back to Newton in the circle. He'll work into the slot, send it back door. Oh, and ripping it just wide was Zach Knoll. He had a wide open net as Lauren Jones had no idea where that puck was. And he put it about 2 feet wide of the short side on Lauren Jones. Here's Ferris. Moving it up right wing to Ty Schiff. He'll work into the circle, a shot. He was pressured by Andrew Siraki and had to get that one off quick. Now look out, Morgan forces a turnover at the line. Here comes Ben Rychuk. Realizes he doesn't have a ton of guys with him and is on the PK, so we'll work it back into his own end. D-to-D, Charlie Hayes gets into the right wing and dumps it down the ice. Bartholomew out of his net to play it. 1:06 to go in the man advantage. Central Michigan and Ferris State deadlocked at 3 here at Martin Ice Arena. over the line. Here's Zach Nolan to the corner, feeding it out in front. Oh, and that was put just wide by Chase Adams. Now a cross-ice feed, and it hopped over the stick to the near side of Brennan Karn. O'Connor got it over to Knoll at the right point. Up top to O'Connor, high slot. He'll tee it up and fire a shot. Saved by Jones. Rebound back onto O'Connor. And he fires it into the armpit of Jones, who will squeeze the right arm to the chest and hold on with 38 seconds to go in the Nadu minor penalty. 14:40 to go here in regulation. Central Michigan has conceded 3 unanswered goals. Here's Snow at the left point. Backs it down to Karn. Karn along the half wall, throws it down low there for Adams in the left corner. Adams up top to Snow at the near point. Back down and along the half wall to Camara, who intercepted the pass, and Snow kept the clearing attempt in. Across the way, O'Connor, far point, let a shot go wide on the wrister. Now here's Karn along the near half boards. Karn, top of the left circle, feeds it across for O'Connor. Bouncing puck taken down, and there's going to be a penalty as Keelan Baker is taken down. And it's going to be Sean O'Connor to the box. And the Chippewas will have a 1 minute and 59 second power play once Jay Nadeau gets out of the box, tripping the call on O'Connor, and CMU already 1 for 3 tonight. Will head on the power play with 14:03 to go. So draw to the left of Bartholomew. Chippewas win the draw. They're on the power play. Here's Isaac Gibbs firing a shot wide. Camara kept it in left point. Camara throws it down the wall for Hayes. He'll work in with a shot. He ripped it high. Pardon me, that was Rychuk. Here's Gibbs up at the near point. He'll step into the slot. A shot. Oh, and Bartholomew didn't see that one till the last moment. Across the way, Johnson backs it up the wall to the far point for Camara. Down the wall once again to Johnson. Up top for Isaac Gibbs. It went through his wickets off his blade, and he'll get to the point, and it's up and out of play with 13:32 to go. Fans, be sure to tune in to CCHN in 2 weekends for a full weekend of hockey in the last weekend of October. The men's D3 Chippewas finish their October with a 2-game road trip to Notre Dame, while the women D2 Chippewas will travel to Marquette to take on Northern Michigan in a weekend series. All 4 games that weekend will be found right here on CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey. Isaac Gibbs' shot from the high slot was blocked away, and Camara plays it down low for Johnson. Johnson throws it around the boards, right point near side Morgan. He'll send it across for Gibbs, top of the left circle, down low there for Camara. Camara holds in the circle, up top for Gibbs once more. Gibbs, hold let a wrist shot go through traffic, save Bartholomew on the rebound to the side of the net. Rychuk grabs that puck down, and that's going to be closing the hand of the puck on Ben Rychuk. Oh, goodness. So the Chippewas, Rychuk tried to just grab the puck and set it down, but the draw is going to come out of the zone, and with 1:02 to go in the man advantage, CMU is going to have a neutral zone faceoff. Ferris State wins the draw at neutral ice. They try to get it out, and they do, as their captain, Brennan Karn, throws it back into the defensive end of CMU. A D-to-D pass was almost cut off by Ferris. Puck comes out at neutral ice. Bouncing around, Karn gets to it. Martin works it up to Nathan Bottles. Bottles moves across that line. Into the top of the left circle, drops it off for Nadeau, far half boards. His pass up top was deflected away there by Colton Cundiff, and it'll come to the near side. Chippewas want a penalty call. They're not going to get one. Nadeau on the near side, 27 to go on the man advantage. Nadeau down the right wing, holds it in the corner. He'll work it up top near side to Martin. He'll let a shot go blocked away by Karn. Martin still down low to get it. He'll feed it back door, and the Bulldogs are able to deny it. Hayes keeps it in left point with 12 to go on the power play. He'll let a wrist shot go, bounces off the half wall. Schiff gets there and throws it up and out of play with 7 seconds to go, and it'll be an offensive zone faceoff here for Central Michigan. Draw will be to the left of Hunter Bartholomew. After a shaky start to this one, he has played stellarly in net for Ferris State. Loose puck right off the draw. It comes to the far side of the net. They battle for it in the far corner. It's cleared up the wing. Brendan Clements there. Out of the box is Sean O'Connor, CMU. Again, falls to 1 for 4 in the evening. Up the left wing. Here's Knoll over the line. Knoll cuts in the slot, fires, kicked away by the toe of Lauren Jones, and the Chippewas clear. Turning and firing this one on the near side is Sean O'Connor around the boards. Connor Morgan controls, trying to get it out. It was knocked away by O'Connor. Pull back into the slot. Here's a shot just off the backhand wide by Chase Adams. And guess what? The net came off again behind Lauren Jones. We've had trouble with that all evening. As CMU has knocked the puck off behind, or not the net off behind Lauren Jones a multitude of times. Trouble B2, Lauren Jones left. Adams and Gibbs to dig in. Gibbs wins it cleanly. Brendan Clements works up the near side for Connor Morgan, who will start the breakout. He'll flip it into the offensive end. Just inside the line, the Bulldogs take it and flip it back out to neutral ice. Bouncing puck control to the line. Over the line, Adams lost the bouncing puck. It still bounces around top of the left circle for CMU, and out comes Connor Morgan far side. Morgan works over the line right to or left to right here in this third period. Morgan sidesteps the crunching hit. And the Chippewas trying to get control. Here's Gibbs with a shot blocked by Banner Eichuk. Now Isaac Gibbs comes in. That's going to be a penalty. Oh boy, we've got some fisticuffs in the right corner. Hank Young going after Isaac Gibbs, who already picked himself a penalty. And hey, look, that's penalty number 4 on the night for Isaac Gibbs. Now the referees are going to have a consultation, and it looks like Hank Young is also going to go to the box, but it's a matter of for what and if it's a 5-minute check to the head on Isaac Gibbs. 9:11 gone. Here in period 3, Isaac Gibbs is going to go off for a 2-minute penalty. And my guess, it may be a 10-minute misconduct here. Faceoff's going to be in the Central Michigan end, as the Bulldogs are going to go on the power play. My guess is Gibbs got 2 penalties because he's the only one up on the board, with Young also in the box for Ferris State. Ferris State wins the draw, and we are underway here in this power play for Ferris. Up to the left point, it's capped in, working down the side. Up to the point on the far side, here's Zach Knoll. Hold it, a shot goes. Knocked away by Lauren Jones, and Ben Reichuk will turn and fire at the length of the ice with 10:30 to go in period 3. Up on the near side, puck bounces at neutral ice. Reichuk forces a turnover. He'll move into the offensive zone. Fire a shot, save Bartholomew. Reichuk with a good opportunity. Works in with the shot, and Isaac Gibbs is in the box along with, it looks like, Andrew Miller. Across the way is the second man in the box for CMU. He's serving the initial Isaac Gibbs penalty, and my guess is it's coincidental minors along with Young. Over the line here for Ferris State across the way is Zach Adams. He'll work behind the goal. Under the near side for Karn. Up top for Snow. We'll send it across for O'Connor. Back up top for the one-timer by Snow. It was redirected high. 54 to go in the power play. On the near side, Brendan Karn trying to fight for it, but CMU wins that battle and will send it the length of the ice. 42 seconds to go in the Gibbs penalty. Here's O'Connor trying the breakdown right to left here for Ferris State. Karn worked from behind there by Rychuk. Whole skate to the near side. The right-handed shot will work in, a shot and a save there by Lauren Jones. But look at that, he pushes the net off again, but he pulls it back before any whistle is blown. Here's Pieroleski left point. Throws it down low to O'Connor off the boards. In the left circle, will fire a shot, and it goes up and out of play. And it's going to stay in the Central Michigan end. Tie game, 9:04 remaining here in period 3. If you're looking for game reports, stats, schedules, and more, take a trip to cmishIcehockey.com. There you can find those and much more, including player information, recruiting information, apparel, and more. That's cmICHHOCKEY.com. Draw to the right of Lauren Jones with 16 seconds to go in the Gibbs penalty. And the Ferris State power play. Here's Newton down the left side. Big hit by Brendan Clements behind the goal. And Camara goes into the corner, pins it up against the boards with Schmidt. Puck comes free. Schmidt into the corner to pick it up. We'll throw it down low for Newton. Out of the box. Now they feed it out in front and score! Schmidt with the hat trick right after the penalty has expired. And Ferris State has 4 unanswered goals with 8:32 remaining here in period 3. A pass came from the side of the net to the left of the goal, and standing right out in front was Schmidt. And he has had himself a night. 11:18, the time of the goal. And Ferris State has put up 4 in the last period. Now Ferris State holding a lead here for the first time this afternoon. 8:27 to go. This is sent the length of the ice, tipped before it hit the Chippewa blue line, so icing is negated. Austin Ritter gets taken down from behind, and the puck is free at neutral ice. Pulling it free. Here's Newton over the line. Drops it across the way. Jay Nadeau got tied up there with Ferris, and the Bulldog bench is up in arms as Nadeau was shoving at Ferris right in front of the broadcast booth here. And Ferris State wants an explanation for that. They're not going to get it, though, with 8:07 remaining here in the third. Schmidt has the last 3 goals of the hockey game. Combine that with Cyril Berry scoring after Isaac Gibbs had the tally. I'll now look out, a loose puck out in front of goal, and the Chippewas are able to get to it defensively and lift to the length of the ice. Picking up the puck in his own end. Here's Zach Knoll up right wing. Feeds it ahead to Pieroleski over the line. Pieroleski's pass in front for O'Connor was intercepted. Here comes Christopher Martin. Christopher Martin over the line. Fed it out in front. Nathan Bottles didn't have his stick down and wasn't able to catch that pass cleanly. Now Sean O'Connor holds it in his own end to our right. Ferris State holding a 1-goal lead, working right to left here in period 3. Rattled around the boards there by Sean O'Connor from neutral ice. Chippewas picking up the pass off the boards. Here's Luke Wild up right wing. He got bumped from behind. Chippewas have a turnover. Oh, just offsides there was Luke Wild. 7:03 to go in period 3. Ferris State has come roaring back from a 3-goal deficit. 1:18 into the second period. They've scored 4 unanswered, including 3 straight by Jordan Schmidt, who extends his team lead in points. Oh, there's a shot from the right corner by the Chippewas. That one was almost right on goal. Behind the net, Rychuk going at it. And now the Bulldogs upset some play at the blue line with Charlie Hayes involved. They want a penalty now. Look out over the line. Here's Adams with a shot, ripped it wide near side. 6:30 to go in period 3. CMU trails for only the third time this season. Can they come back? They came back last time against Ferris State. That was a one-goal lead early in period one. This time, although the momentum is completely on the side of Ferris State as we enter the final 6 minutes of play here at Martin Ice Arena. Talked about it being a test of resilience for this young Chippewa team. They had plenty of it last season, but with the departure of plenty of veterans after the national tournament last season, it's a much different look to this maroon and gold squad. They're trying to prove themselves here tonight against Ferris State. Over the line left side, here's Knoll into the boards. Knoll out in front, and Nadeau takes a heavy fall into the boards, drawing some applause from the Ferris State bench. Here's Brendan Clements working up left wing. At his own blue line, he'll cut across the center ice face-off circle. Across that line right side, takes it into the corner, lost the puck, and it'll come behind for Ty Schiff. Schiff across the way, worked it out, now look out, Nathan Bottles, he's taken down. Penalty coming up on CMU. Here's Brendan Clements, holds, fires it wide of goal. Rebound pops across the way. Johnson showing some speed. Jones is off for the extra attacker. Camara behind the goal. Camara holds it in the right corner. Works it up top for Clements, right point. Clements near side, delayed penalty on Ferris State. Back door. Morgan couldn't fire it. Home. Right check backed it up the wall for Johnson. Near side for a shot there by Clements, and Ferris State will finally touch up with 4:44 to go in period three, and CMU will have another chance on the power play. Down by one with under 5 to go. Fans, stay with us for the postgame report after this one. We'll recap all this and take one final look at the out-of-town scoreboard, but don't go anywhere. 4-3 the score. Ferris State has scored 4 unanswered. Central Michigan has an opportunity to tie it here on the power play. 15-14. The time of the penalty. Central Michigan back on the power play for the second time this period. Connor Morgan to dig in, and he wins it cleanly back to Gibbs near side. He'll left it off for Johnson, back up top for Gibbs. He'll step into a wrist shot, save, rebound to the far corner. Right check barreling after the puck. He works it up to Camara left point, slides it over to Gibbs near side for Morgan in the slot, and a shot goes up and out of play. Where's the face-off going to be? It's going to stay in the zone of Ferris State. 1:43 to go in the penalty to Brennan Karn. The Ferris State captain takes a seat in the sin bin, and CMU will have a draw to Bartholomew's left, but Central Michigan can't win it. Look out, the speedy Peraleski on the back check. On the forecheck there, for Ferris State. The Battle of M20 here at Martin Ice Arena. A very good conclusion to a fantastic opening night. 4-1 CMU won back on October 23rd. Ferris State trying to take revenge. Across the way, Camara top of the left circle. Shot was deflected up to the side of the net, and it'll hold on Bartholomew. Look out! A scrum out in front. And guess who's right in the middle of it? Ben Rychuk crashing the net as usual, drawing a crowd from Ferris State. Ben Rychuk loves to get in the middle of things, a big physical presence for CMU, and his helmet came off, and I'm not sure if he has to come off the ice, and he does. And now he's showing the referee that he was bloodied up there and wants a penalty call, but he's not going to get one. 1:12 remaining on the Brennan Karn penalty. Draw to the left wing circle, the Ferris State end. It'll be won by the Bulldogs, and they'll send it the length of the ice. 3:50 to go here in period three. Central Michigan trying to avoid going winless over the weekend. Pass up the left wing. Charlie Hayes had the power play goal earlier in the contest. Keelan Baker had the first goal of the game back on opening night. Here's Martin, kept it in left point. Hayes will tee it up and fire a shot. Blocked away by Bartholomew. Rebound. Nadeau worked it up top for Hayes. Hayes far point. His shot was blocked there by Schmidt, who's had a wonderful night. A hat trick and a couple of key blocks shots. 35 to go on the man advantage. Hayes lost control of the puck, and Lauren Jones will send it up left wing. Over the line, here's Keelan Baker. Sidesteps it, check, goes after the loose puck in the right corner. He shoulders DeMarte to the boards. The puck is here up at the right point. Shot was blocked out in front after it came from Hayes from the right point. Down low, here's Bottles on the half wall. Donald there, looking for a pass. He'll hold it and work down the wall. He'll feed it across a one-timer. Oh, what a save by Hunter Bartholomew on the back door, denying Martin from the left circle. A blast of a one-timer there. And Bartholomew, who has been solid since the first 20 minutes and 18 seconds. Here's a shot. Oh, that one was just trickled wide. Johnson tries to stuff it home. Rebound, loose out in front, and the Bulldogs clear it down the ice, and icing will be the call after the Bulldogs have killed off that penalty. So CMU, another draw on the offensive end with 2:34 to go in period 3. Final game in a weekend series, final game in a season series between these two clubs. First game came back on opening night. Now Gibbs right off the draw, skied it high off of the deflection. Now Puraleski and Kamara go to the far half wall after the rebound. Pulled out of there by Johnson. He tried to find his man back door, couldn't work. Here's Clements from the half wall. Rims it around the boards. Across the way, Johnson and Puraleski go after it. Here's a shot that was blocked, and out here come the Bulldogs. Here's Knoll over the line, left side with speed. He'll pull into the circle, fire his shot just over the head of Lauren Jones. Chippewas can't get it out, though, in the high slot. Here's O'Connor. He lost the puck, and here comes CMU. Over the line, Morgan opted to throw it into the offensive end. He had Gibbs across the way if he wanted to start the offensive rush. 1:51 to go here in period 3. We'll keep an eye on Lauren Jones. See if he goes. CMU down by 1 with 1:43 to go. Chippewas trying to get the puck out of their own end. Nathan Bottles takes a spill. He'll work it across. Keelan Baker had to go through his skates. And it'll be played across the way by Joseph Woodstock. Jane Adu tied up his man across the way. It's centered out in front. A big hit there by Brendan Clements, and it'll roll in on Lauren Jones. He'll hold with 85 seconds to go. Over on the Chippewa bench, Tyler Cataline and Tyler Koth talking about when they're going to pull Lauren Jones. Wouldn't be surprised if Central Michigan can get it down the ice, if they'll take a timeout at the next stoppage of play. Nadu to dig in with Ferris. A big defensive zone draw here for CMU. They cannot win it. Martin takes his man to the boards across the way. In to help comes Jane Adu. They battle for it across the way. It squirts free of the half wall. Martin is able to work it free and loft it out, but it's kept in there by Schmidt. Bouncing puck at the line. Here's Nathan Bottles. There goes Lauren Jones to the bench. Extra attacker is going to come on here for CMU. Nathan Bottles lost control of the puck. It comes up to the right point. Siraki tries to keep it in. He can't. Bouncing puck and then near boards. It's skied into the Central Michigan end. Isaac Gibbs back in front of his goal. Set it off the boards ahead to Jane Adu. Just too far for him. Now a long shot. Gloved by Isaac Gibbs. He'll work in over the line. Hold to the outside of the circle. A fire and a shot. It went high. 40 seconds to go in the regulation. A long shot. Gloved down at center by Christopher Martin. 34 to go. A pass ahead intercepted by Ferris. He'll play it across the way. Christopher Martin angling out his man. Here's a backhander off the goal post. CMU still has 22 seconds to go. They've got to hustle here. Played out to neutral ice. Ahead here's Ben Rychuk over the line. Rychuk tried to find his man across. It'll be poked into the corner. 13 to go in the period. Puck free. The Bulldogs get it out and send it down the length of the ice, and now Ben Rychuk has tied up with Ferris with 3 seconds to go. The Chippewas fire the puck down the ice, and that'll do it. And the Bulldogs have come from behind a massive 4-3 victory over the Central Michigan Chippewas here at Martin Ice Arena. And CMU, for the first time this year, has dropped both games on the weekend. We'll recap that and much more when we come back here on the Postgame Show, presented by SeamishIceHockey.com. 4-3 your final from Martin Ice Arena. Back with more in a moment here on CCHN. Back here for one final time, radio ringside. Inside Martin Ice Arena, Reagan Cleaves inside the broadcast booth with you. Here after a very disappointing 4-3 loss for Central Michigan, things got started oh so well for CMU. It came out of the gate extremely hot with Jane Nadeau scoring his fourth of the campaign at 26 seconds into the game, with Ritter getting the assist along with Nathan Bottles before Charlie Hayes added on 13 minutes and 30 seconds later with his fourth of the campaign, equaling his season output from last season with his fourth of the campaign. Christopher Martin and Keelan Baker got the assists, and that goal was on the power play for CMU, so that's the 6th out of 7 games that CMU has a power play goal. They were held scoreless on the power play last night, and they would be held scoreless on the power play the rest of the night, despite numerous opportunities the rest of the going. CMU would not be able to score on the power play. They would head to the dressing rooms after 20 minutes with CMU up 2-0. That would bring us to the third period. Again, things look to be going so well for Central Michigan. Isaac Gibbs got to go a minute and 18 into the period with the assist going to Austin Ritter, his second of the night. And from there, it was all Ferris State. The tide turned in a 30-second span starting at 2:56 of that second period. Cyril Berry picked up a pass in the left, or picked up a loose puck in the left corner and fed it out. There was a bouncing puck on the near side. That was Schmidt's first goal, but 30 seconds before that, from the left circle, Berry fired a shot, picked the short side high corner on Lauren Jones. That made it a 3-1 game, and 30 seconds later, Schmidt found a bouncing puck at the near side of the net and was able to jam it home to make it a 3-2 game at 7:26. From there, it seemed like Central Michigan had the air taken out of its tires. They played a little bit slower. They couldn't get much going offensively, and with 53 seconds left in the second period, Schmidt got his second of the night at 19:07 from Karn and Newton. That evened up the game, heading into the dressing room at 3 apiece, heading into the third. Power plays for Ferris State in that second period. They were 0 for 4, going 0 for 5 through the first 40, and CMU was 0 for 1. The final period of play turned out as we knew it would be, coming in tied to be the decisive period. 11:18 into the third, Schmidt found the hat trick after it was fed out in front from the side of the goal. It was passed in front. He was able to find it on the doorstep and jam it home. Lauren Jones couldn't get over fast enough to his left to stick out the pad and make the save, and that would be the decisive goal. Central Michigan would get a couple of opportunities, including a power play about 4 minutes after that third Schmidt goal was scored. Karn would go to the box for a trip at 15-14, but CMU, although they would get a couple of golden opportunities on the man advantage, would end up falling to 1 for 5 on the afternoon, and that would be the difference. CMU would not be able to score, even though they pulled their netminder with about a minute to go. Lauren Jones came off for the extra attacker. Central Michigan couldn't do anything about it, and they fall to Ferris State by a score of 4-3 here at Martin Ice Arena. Lauren Jones in net for CMU, stopped 33 out of 37, allowing the most goals he has all campaign. And for Hunter Bartholomew, he turned aside 29 of 32 in the win, earning yet another victory for him. Then actually, let me check here. That is his first win of the campaign. He came in with a goals against average hovering around 5, and this won't help the goals against average, but it will certainly help the record as he finally gets one in the win column here tonight for the Ferris State netminder. Power plays on the evening. Central Michigan went 1 for 5, but again, a stellar night on the penalty kill for the Chippewas. 7 for 7 on the man advantage, on the penalty kill, making up for some mistakes that may have put them in the box. They were able to recover and keep Ferris State out of the score chart on the power play, but if you can't play 5-on-5, you can't win hockey games, and that served to be the difference here tonight. Taking a look at our players to watch, we had Connor Morgan for CMU and Nathan Bottles. Morgan was held off the score sheet, though then Nathan Bottles got an assist on the Nadu goal 26 seconds in for Ferris State. I think I picked quite well Jordan Schmidt with the hat trick, and Alec Newton. Newton had the assist on the game-tying goal at 19:07 into the second period. Keys to the game I had put last night out of your head, and CMU did that quite well. They got out to a fast start and controlled the game through the first 30 minutes or so before Barry's goal and the avalanche that followed thereafter. They played fast. They played a fast game, especially early on. It got a little bit troublesome toward the end after Ferris State got that momentum after the 6:56 mark of the second. And they also scored early, 26 seconds in, but they failed to play as fast as they needed to all game. They needed to play a full 60 minutes, and that hurt them here today as they fall 4-3 to Ferris State. 3 stars of the game. Number 3 star of the game, Austin Ritter, who had 2 assists for Central Michigan University. Second star of the game, Hunter Bartholomew with 29 saves and the win. He made a bunch of key stops late in that game, including a one-timer from the left circle on the power play by Christopher Martin. That would have been that was a hammer shot that Martin absolutely unloaded on. Bartholomew made the good move to come across, square to the puck, and gobble it up into the midsection. And that, along with a couple of more key saves later on in that one, as part of his 29-save win effort, earns him the second star of the game. And when a player scores a hat trick, you can hardly ignore it in the 3 stars. And that is why Jordan Schmidt gets the first star of the game, getting the game winner at 11:19 to complete the hat trick of the third period. And he is tonight's first star of the game here from Martin Ice Arena. Looking ahead on the schedule for Central Michigan, they will be back in action in 2 weeks' time at Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend, Indiana, when Central Michigan will take on Notre Dame. We will have both those games for you of the weekend, both on Friday and on Saturday. 6:30 p.m. broadcast on Friday the 28th for a 7 p.m. puck drop at Compton Family Ice Arena. Ferris State will travel to Jordan Valley Ice Park down in Missouri to take part in a showcase. Their first game comes next Friday at 8 p.m. against Missouri State. One final look at the out-of-town scoreboard before we head out. Again, the Griffins in action on Wednesday against the Admirals at 7 p.m. The Saginaw Spirit in action against the Spitfires on Thursday. And the Detroit Red Wings in action tomorrow at hosting LA at Little Caesars Arena. Well, that'll just about do it for us this afternoon, but we'll be back in 2 weeks' time when Central Michigan travels to South Bend to take on Notre Dame. Until then, this is Reagan Cleaves for everybody else here at CCHN saying so long from Martin Ice Arena in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, as the Ferris State Bulldogs knock off the Central Michigan University Chippewas in comeback fashion by a final score of 4-3. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful night.